Is Nicole Waterson actually a shapeshifter? Well, I have some evidence that might prove so. Now that if you've seen any of my Gumball videos, then you know there's a long-standing theory that I have that the world of Elmore is changing itself. But along with that theory later came the fact that Gumball and Darwin can control the void. And we know part of that world-changing power comes from Richard. And you, dedicated overthinker, might be wondering, how does this all connect? How does this make sense? Well, make sure you save this for later, share it with a friend, and of course subscribe here and everywhere. Now, before we can discuss Nicole, we have to talk about the void powers and Richard Waterson, because you might not actually know this, but Richard actually has the ability to change reality as we know it. And in the episode titled The Job, Richard literally gets a pizza job where he delivers pizzas. Now, everything's fine and dandy. Nicole's in disbelief and can't believe that he got a job, because the last time he got a job, bad things happen. Almost like he's not supposed to have a job, because by the end of the episode, him just delivering pizza changed reality. It changed everybody's forms. It took things from 3D and made it 2D. Everything was out of whack. And now you might be thinking that this couldn't mean that he has powers. It might just be a one-off joke. But there's also another episode that demonstrates that Richard has otherworldly powers. That episode being the Joy Virus, where Richard gives Gumball and Darwin a hug before school, and in doing so, creates the Joy Virus. And what it does is it makes everybody unconditionally happy. And I don't know about you, but in any world, a hug creating a world virus is very weird. And that you have the one thing that's most exclusive to Richard, that being the Awesome Store. It's the place where he found Darwin. It's the place where he found his fridge full of memories. It's exclusive to him because it seems like he's the only one that can find it and use it. And the thing is that Richard has had these powers before his children were born, and he passed it all down to Gumball and Darwin, where they're able to control who goes in and out of the void, including now themselves. And of course, for the sake of time, I'm going to condense down the void powers theory because I already have extensive shorts talking about it on the page. Basically, Gumball and Darwin have the power to dictate who goes in and outside of the void, and this is simply done by them thinking something is boring, i.e. Molly, and by that same extension, they also set Rob there. Both of those characters went missing during around season 1 and season 2. We haven't seen them since until he came back as Dr. Wrecker and Molly was saved from the void. But Gumball and Darwin sent them there originally because they thought they were boring. And now with the wonderfully weird world of Gumball coming soon, we might find out that they also thought themselves were also boring, or that the world of Gumball felt like it couldn't keep up with their imagination, keeping them entertained, and therefore sent everything into the void. Now, if you want to know more about that Elmore change in reality theory, make sure you check that in the description below, or at least like on my page. So if Richard's able to pass down these world-altering powers down to Gumball and Darwin, they will also have to get some type of power from Nicole as well. And guess what? They did. In this case, more so Gumball than Darwin. Because the thing about Nicole Waterson is that she can basically shapeshift. Most specifically, it's attached to her anger. At times, she can Hulk out and become angry like that. Or she gains superhuman strength and is able to do things for long durations of time. Not to mention that she can command people and tell them what to do by only saying one word. Okay, so that might not be proving that Gumball and Darwin are also shapeshifters, but this does. In the episode The Apprentice, Gumball spends the whole episode trying to convince Penny's dad that he's a good match for her. He does so by following him throughout the whole episode, thinking that he's helping him. But at one particular part, Gumball mentions that he thinks his DNA is probably not good enough for Penny's dad. To which Penny's dad says, yeah, I'm worried about Richard because he's not well put together. But Gumball proceeds to conjure up a DNA strand of himself and edit his genes on the fly. He unravels his DNA so much that he becomes an amalgamation of himself. Now, what if Nicole is doing the same exact thing, but more efficiently inside of her own body, because she can Hulk out and gain powers? There's actually one episode that might explain where this all comes from, and it's the fact that Nicole is a demon. In the episode titled The Egg, Nicole basically tries to impress somebody else so she can climb the social hierarchy. But things don't exactly work out the way she wants. In fact, she starts beef with the person that she invited over, and that's because she's a snob. But their interaction became so bad that Nicole specifically said, "Do you want to see who I truly am?" and transforms into a demon. And now it all makes sense. Now, in many mythologies, cultures, and belief systems, demons can take on many different forms. Some more human-like, some ogre-like, powerful, strong. But the one common factor is that they're able to transform. And Gumball seems to have this ability too. This explains why Gumball is also able to transform at times to do little bits for his own sake, for his own jokes. But maybe he doesn't know how to control it as much as Nicole. Or maybe Gumball and Darwin happen to be the most powerful beings in their world. But what do you think? But is that a coincidence? I think nut. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow me here and everywhere, and of course look at my page for all of these other videos that you might love and enjoy. And I'll of course see you in another video. Bye-bye! Donkey Kong Bonanza might be the darkest game that Nintendo has ever released, and it's not because of Pauline's origin story or the rewriting of the whole Donkey Kong lore, but it has to do with the societal commentary that is buried deep within the game.